Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. So back again at Group C, we have Nekroz from 2015, so one of the more recent decks in the upper part, right? So definitely it has the, in theory, should have the advantage over Vayu Turbo, an older deck list. It feels like a matchup between David and Goliath, right? So let's take a look at the votes. Comment section, and this should be pretty clear. I could definitely agree. The question now is that how is Vayu Turbo able to win against Nekroz? Looking at Oppression, looking at mainly the side deck actually, looking at Vanity's Fiend, Deck Devastation Virus, the other Oppression, Fossil Dyna, DD Crow are cards that are superb against Nekroz. But on the other hand, Prime Nekroz from back in 2015 having access to Djinn lock, which is crucial. It's just another extra lock. Same for Unicorn, blocking your opponent's extra deck. Sure, you have something like Hamster, Raikou to deal with stuff like that, but Prime Nekroz, the fact that I always call it the Google.deck, the deck searches, basically everything in the deck searches each other. And let's not forget a card that is as powerful as Trishula just dumps on a lot of old school decks as well, because it non-targetable hits both hand, field and graveyard, especially against this deck where the graveyard could be a second hand. Our graveyard-oriented deck, that hurts a lot, like especially now. You're forced to chain to Trishula's effect. You reveal the bottomless, and of course, if they hit the back row, they are just not going to pick the chained bottomless, so they will just pick another face-down card. We draw Oppression though, so was it the one of Oppression in the main deck? The problem now is establishing a board, so a tuner would have been fine. Like, what's the level of Hamster? Is it like level 3? I mean, they have Typhoon, so it doesn't matter, right? Like, even putting up something like a Tester or a stronger Synchro, it won't matter that much. They have Unicorn as well. What is it? Unicorn 2300 and Keki. It doesn't matter which Synchro you're putting up against that particular hand. I guess, what is it, you could go for Emerald maybe? Dagoster Emerald, Valval Chain would not make sense. Or, just leave the Unicorn on board, because, you already had the second Mind You, right? So you could potentially overlay Unicorn and so on. I mean, if you have access to, Valkyrus, yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can, go for Dagoster, and we clean your field eventually, and just, here in this case, just push for game, so. It was inevitable. The Trishula. The early Trish definitely got me there. I mean, against something like Nekroz, Prime Nekroz, you could, because, as you know, like Trishula needs to pick at least one card in hand, field and graveyard. Maybe set your entire hand or something like that, or prevent something in your graveyard, which is not that easy, especially for this deck. So game number 2, both side deck. You have Deck Devastation. It's iffy. Like, do you wait on Deck Devi with Deck Devi? Or you snipe it in like draw phase? I think going for the latter was the better option. So immediately snipe it in draw phase. Or wait it out. Maybe they have Typhoon, but I guess with Oppression you should probably keep Typhoon. So I was like, let's snipe the Deck Devi and see if there's Manju, Senju, lower attack monsters. But I think there was once, what was it, Rota the Search card? I think so. And that dodges the Deck Devastation. And even then, right, you need those 2-3 card combos to establish your field with Nekroz. But the problem is 90% of the deck are those combos. So, nope. Okay, we try again. More floodgates, please. More floodgates. I think we're able to. So we go for Grapher and immediately set up Vayu. So Vayu with Sirocco, get Armed Wing out, and Vanity's Fiend. The beautiful thing is that I thought that there weren't any outs for Vanity's Fiend, but then they searched the Decisive Armor. I was like, oh, right, that's an option. But I need a Nekroz monster, so it doesn't boost up the attack of every monster. It needs to be a Nekroz monster. I was like, okay, what's the chance? Obviously, so I lose Vanity's Fiend, and even though I still have a Beatstick, luckily I've Floodgate number 2. Ah yes, healthy gameplay, guys. So, flip over Floodgate number 2. And, I mean, how many Spell and Trap Destruction does Nekroz have? They have 3 Typhoon, and I think a couple of side deck cards as well, right? Typhoon as well, etc. Yeah, I was talking about Mystical Space Typhoon. So they need the Typhoon, right? A couple of searches here, I guess basically thinning the deck. Double weak beatstick on my part, so I need a strong beatstick. Sure, your opponent, and that's crucial. Your opponent can also use your own oppression against you. That's important, but you need to pay 800, right? So with Trooper, we are not milling a Vayu. As you know, Vayu can dodge the oppression, right? It can keep activating its effect. Although your opponent activates your oppression, it doesn't matter. Vayu can activate multiple times until it resolves. Problem now is game number 4. Let's see. I mean, this is fine though. Like, back in the day, Nekroz, especially the mirror match, which was, I don't know, 80-90% of the decks, because it was the best deck back then, you would empty your board, right? You don't want your opponent to trish you. But the problem with that is, brain control Chaos, I imagine them having like Unicorn, or Unicorn and something else. You can brain control that, Chaos their other beatstick, and then set oppression. I mean, they do have the Typhoons, so imagine not having the Typhoon. That would have been better. Obviously, they have the spell at Destruction, so there is no way around this. And obviously, you're keeping your Typhoon here, right? Lucky me, there would have been a second Oppression, even though I think Oppression needs to be chained directly to the card activated. So we get trished, and I think they go for the back row. And this should be lethal, if I'm not mistaken. They could go for, you know, the Unicorn, what's the, Kaladel. Drops you, and I think this is exactly game. I mean, they still have decisive armor for extra 1k attack boost, but I mean, as you saw in these duels, and that's fine. I still think it's fine. David versus Goliath. The thing is that like, how many points is Fire Turbo able to get, because it won its previous matchup already, right? And Nekroz 3 points because they lost previously. So the next one, Spellbooks versus Heretic Kishki, the Handloop deck. Feel free to leave your predictions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.